Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
And tonight we will be reviewing The Descendants that was done in 2015 and finished in 2019.
No, they had 3 movies, that's what she's trying to say.
Yes,
well,
it was a franchise, in short.
Now, this is a bit... this is a musical fantasy, adventure, comedy, television movie. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
Yes, and it's a Disney movie, and it's been a while since we did a Disney movie. I think the last one we did was the Songs from the South.
So that's a long time ago.
And that was just last year.
Actually, we should do Tron and that sort of stuff. Oh, no, they didn't make it. They took it over, didn't they? They didn't do the first one, did they?
Yeah, well, they did both.
Oh, did they? Okay. Well, it might bung in something good like that.
Anyway, moving back along. So this was a Disney movie, and I think it has a lot of Disney references here and there.
Well, considering it's all about the fantasy creatures and people and stuff,
Yeah, and
a
the
lot
villain
have been
kids.
addressed in Disney cartoons, animated features, etc.
Yeah, and it's about the villain kids who are villains of the popular villains like the Evil Queen from Snow White, Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, Jafar from Aladdin, and let me see, Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians.
Yes, exactly, all those people. And a cast of thousands.
Exactly so.
All those other creepy crawly people, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's worth a watch, guys.
Anyway, moving on. Now, as Sarah said, produced by Disney Channel Productions, along with Bad Angels Productions and 5, 6, 7, 8 Productions, whoever they are. Mm-hmm. Directed by Kenny Ortega, and written by Josanne McGibbon and Sarah Parriott, or Parriot. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce her last name. I'll won't go into too much. I'm only going to mention the main 4 actors, the 4 teenagers involved, because I thought they did a splendid job. Now, Dove Cameron, she plays, I say the lead role, female, plays Mal, daughter of Maleficent. She's rather an attractive young girl, and she sings and dances really good and stuff, and she's really good. And very attractive. All you young guys out there. Okay, now Cameron Boyce plays Carlos, the son of Cruella de Vil.
Yeah, interesting thing, guys, is that after they finished The Descendants, Cameron... he passed away in 2019.
Yeah, he made the 3 movies, didn't he?
Yeah, he did all 3 movies, and he developed an epileptic fit in his sleep.
He suffered from epilepsy, and he had a seizure, and it was a bad one. He
passed away when he was asleep.
And our thoughts do go out to his family. I know it's a couple of years ago, but... To
the family, we send our condolences and stuff like that.
I'm really sorry, but yes, such a young man to be taken so early, and
he was only 20 when he passed away. So young too young when he passed me.
That's not good. Anyway, irrespective, that word's coming back again. Now, number 3, Boo Boo Stewart plays Jay, the son of Jafar. Now, Jafar obviously is out of Aladdin. Yeah. And Boo Boo, why Boo Boo?
Oh, brother.
Okay, so I'm just wondering.
There could be a reason for it. Maybe it's short for something. I don't know.
But still, you got to live with that for the rest of his life in the industry. That's all.
Yeah.
There's no thought to it. It's good for a kid. But,
all right, moving on.
And the last one I'm going to mention is Sophia Carson. She plays Evie, the daughter of the Evil Queen. Aha.
Yeah, I'm going to mention one other character who plays a key part into this production.
Okay, Michael Hope.
Mitchell Paxson, I think it was, as Ben, who's the son of Beauty and the Beast. The Beast and
Mitchell Hope here.
What?
Mitchell Hope plays Ben. You got your names mixed up.
Oh, sorry, I got the names mixed up. Sorry, folks. Don't know why.
Mitchell Hope,
who is an Australian, which is good.
Yay!
Yeah, so he plays Ben, who's the son of the Beast from
Beauty and the Beast.
And Belle,
obviously.
Yeah. Although everyone calls the beast Adam in the story. But,
well,
But in this movie, it's never mentioned, except for the fact he's the son of the beast, yada, 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 yada.
Well,
anyway, moving right along. So anyway, about this movie, before it was released, they also did a web series also under the same name, Descendants.
Well, it was like a prequel to get people interested in the forthcoming movie.
Yeah, it was sort of called Descendants School of Secrets.
Yeah,
and it takes place inside the school, and where we get to get an inside look into the school and how they find out about how they're going to bring villain kids into Audron Prep.
Yep.
Or Audron School, whatever.
No, I can't talk too much about production. No.
It's okay.
That place.
Yeah, sorry.
I can't talk too much about production costs or anything, so I don't have access to it. There's no box office, of course, it's a TV movie. So you're going to miss out this time. I don't want to say too much more at this point in time, so I think Sarah could take over doing the tell.
Yeah, so I'll start at the beginning. So we all know the story. Belle marries the beast. The beast was under enchantment, and they break it. And now they live happily ever after.
And that's it, finished. Right, that was a quick review, wasn't it?
That's moving on. Then we fast forward, and all the villains from
20 years later.
Yeah, 20 years later, the villains have been sent to this island where they're imprisoned on this island with a magical barrier that prevents them to use any magic. Period.
Yeah. Full stop. There you go.
No one's allowed to use magic there, and there is no Wi-Fi, which makes it worse.
Oh, no.
No Wi-Fi. Oh, what are we going to do for YouTube?
No Facebook, no Twitter, no nothing.
Yeah. So, anyway, then Ben, who's the son of the Beast and Belle, he's going to go on to become king, and he's starting his coronation. Coronation, very shortly. So he wants to make his first decree before then, where he's going to allow a few villain kids to enroll in his same school as him.
Yeah, and give them a chance to improve themselves. Isn't
exactly.
Lovely.
Of course, his dad objects, but then he realizes that these kids are not bad kids.
Her parents might have been bad.
Yeah.
But the kids don't necessarily take after their parents, as soon you will find out in the story.
Yeah, so soon enough we get onto the island and it goes into full swing. We get to hear an interesting music number.
We will rock.
No, it's called Rotten to the Core. And I gotta admit, it has a good, awesome number.
I like Bad to the Bone of George Thorogood better, but...
I like it, especially Mel and Evie and Jed and Carlos singing it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Really cool. They're really good actors and singers, yeah.
Yeah, soon enough, Mel's mum tells her, guess what, you're going to be enrolled in this prep school, and while you're there, I want you to steal the fairy godmother's wand. So, yeah, and then somehow try to get the island, the Oz to... be...
The idea is to steal the wand and bring it back to the island so they can break the power of the good guys over the bad guys so the bad guys can be free.
Yeah, exactly.
A massive prison break, if you will.
Yes, exactly so. And, of course, everyone is up for it. Jed whose dad, Jeffar, is working in a pawn shop, if you will. Getting Jed to steal bits and bobs for it. Yeah. Sounds familiar. It sounds a little bit like Aladdin who stole from people.
Yeah, a little bit of a role reversal there, hey?
Exactly. I guess Jeff watched Aladdin so much he realised that he can make a good living at stealing other people's stuff and flogging it.
Hey, don't make him... He could have been a fence.
Yeah.
There you go then.
Yes. Anyway, Carlos, of course, is dogophobic or animalphobic. I'm not sure.
He's dogophobic sounds pretty good. He's scared of dogs because Mum said they're mean, vicious, cruel, horrible.
She says nasty things about how dogs are vicious pack animals that will bite you and hurt you and stuff like that, rip you apart.
He had never patted a little puppy dog in his life. He was scared of them. Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, Evie's mum is she's very encouraging, and she hopes her daughter could come back and win a prince's heart and hopefully get his castle.
And lovely.
and make sure that they get to live there together. Anyway, Evie is a very talented girl. She's like a dressmaker in the making, and which she is.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, she makes a lot of awesome gowns throughout this franchise. Yeah. So moving on, the group gets loaded into a limo that's waiting for them, and they, through a magical barrier, they were able to get across a magical bridge of sorts.
Yeah, it made the bridge appear, which is normally there. Yeah, we need one of those around here. Yeah,
And they soon arrive at the school. We get a marching band and a group of people waving flags, saying "Yay, woo!" or just getting paid to say "Yay, woo!"
Yay, woo!
And Ben and Audrey, his girlfriend, is there with him, and they greet our villain kids.
Hi, kids.
Yeah. Of course, Ben takes a shine to Mel right off the bat.
Well, she's a good-looking babe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an old man, and I'm not a pedophile or anything, but I think she's a very attractive woman. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Of course, Audrey is a Sleeping Beauty's daughter, and she doesn't hold a grudge against Mel, but she does hold a grudge the fact that Ben takes a shining to Mel, right?
Yeah, he got the hots for her. Hey. And who wouldn't? And he's not a bad looker either, is he?
True.
Hey.
So then the kids, they start making plans of trying to steal the wand, which is inside of a museum of sorts, not too far from the school.
Exactly.
And they tried.
See, the fairy godmother didn't use the wand every day, so she had it on display.
It seems that not too many people use magic anymore, or maybe they do sometimes when the need is needed.
Yeah, but when it's not needed, it's a good way to do things. Do it without magic.
Yeah. Anyway, they tried to break into the museum, but they failed, and they had to face the next day's school, and they have to do goodness prep, whatever they call it.
That?
Well, a course on being good.
Oh, good. Oh, yes, right.
Where you have to think of the most boringest thing and say, pretty much answer the questions.
Boring. I never liked school.
And soon enough, they warm up to being in the school. Jed and Carlos, they start warming.
Jay. You keep calling him Jed.
Jed, sorry.
Jay.
Well,
Jay. What do you mean Jed?
Well, that's what they keep calling him, Jed.
Name's Jay.
Well, that's what they said in the movie. They call him Jed.
Sure.
Positive.
I'll take your word for it.
Anyway, dear, moving on. So, Jed and Carlos, they applied for sport, and Carlos is a bit on the sluggish side, but eventually Ben teaches him, and he even gets him through his phobia of dogs by introducing him to a local dog named Dude.
And he's really cute.
Yeah, he's a gorgeous little puppy dog. And,
I love dogs.
And Jed warms up to the idea that he's a really good athlete, and the coach agrees with him because he thought he is a really bright student and he should learn to be a good team player, and he does. He warms up to the idea. Meanwhile, Mel has an idea of how to get close enough to get the wand by, let me see, she tries to talk to the fairy godmother's daughter. I don't know what her name is. What's her name?
Hang on. Fairy godmother's daughter.
Jane. Sorry.
Jane.
Jane.
Yeah.
So she by changing her image, by giving her better hair, which makes her look more pretty looking, and all that. And she does the same thing with a number of other girls at the school.
A quick makeover.
And Audrey is like, "Oh, I don't like this because it's ruining her image. Because if other people start having better hair than her, then where's she?
Better hair, better clothes, better personality.
What will happen to her?"
Sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, but of course, that doesn't go leading to us anywhere. So she decides to cast a spell on Ben by giving him a
love potion?
A love potion in a chocolate chip. Chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah, it's made of cookie. Hey, nibble, nibble, nibble. I love you.
Yeah, he even pronounces it on. Well, they were doing a sport thing. Yeah, and he asks her out, of course, and Audrey then tells Ben that it's over and that she's now dating Chad, Cinderella's son.
Well, there you go. It's all in the family, folks.
And Chad is a total loser, and even Evie was starting to take to him, but finds out later that he's been using girls as his way of trying to get them to do his homework for him.
Oh, yeah, well, doesn't Evie end up doing his homework for him?
Yeah, she did. She ended up doing his maths or science or whatever.
Yeah.
But luckily enough, she was able to pass thanks to Doug and his encouragement from making sure that she didn't flunk, because she had a magic mirror that allows her to get the answers. But then she soon started to develop her own brain and starting to realize that she's starting to develop more. Thanks to Doug. Yeah, anyway, Mel and Ben go on their first date at the Enchanted Lake.
Now, this is important too.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to tell you something right now. When he goes swimming in the Enchanted Lake, Mal doesn't know that the Enchanted Lake broke the love potion enchantment.
Yeah, it did.
It broke it. And she thinks he's still under the enchantment.
But he isn't. As it turns out, he's really feeling a real affectionate for her.
And she doesn't know this.
Yeah. So, anyway, she starts realizing that she likes Ben too, in her own way, and she doesn't want to see him trapped under a love spell. She wants to feel real emotions, real feelings.
Yeah,
even though she knows she's unaware that Ben's not under the influence anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on. Soon enough, we get a bit of problems before the actual coronation, and where Audrey and her grandma caused a scene at a party or picnic party, whatever. And of course it caused a bit of problems and eventually upset with everyone. So anyway, they end up leaving in a huff, and then they make plans.
I'd rather live in the car.
And then they make plans on. Oh, actually, it was Parent Day. Sorry, I think it was.
Parent Day at school, was it?
Yeah, where all the parents were there, and that's why. And it caused a lot of problems. Anyway, the next day, Mel and the others start making plans of stealing the wand that very day at the coronation, obviously. And in Mel's anger, she changes Jane's hair back to normal, and which kind of shocks everyone, saying "Ew."
Lucky it wasn't a nose job, hey?
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
I think that even Jane asked for a nose job. I think it was.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think in the script it was mentioned.
Lift the boobs up, make it a bit bigger,
Oh, wouldn't that be awful? I think that would not appeal to kids or their parents in this movie.
No, I was joking.
I know you're joking.
That was in that other movie. Who was in it? The guy, was it Jim Carrey? Or one of the guys got Power of God.
Oh, you mean Bruce Almighty?
Bruce Almighty, yeah, and his wife's standing there, and all of a sudden the boobs got a bit bigger and perkier. And he's going
Yeah, moving on. So coronation arrives. Everyone's full swing. Mel is wearing this beautiful gown that was made by Evie, and on the television, the evil queen, Evie's mum, was thrilled to find out her daughter made an awesome dress and is very proud.
Of course, what a lovely mother.
Yeah, despite being evil, she probably still loves her daughter.
And proud of her.
And meanwhile, Mel's worried about how if she doesn't achieve this, she's worried about disappointing her own mum.
Yeah, she'll hate her guts.
Yeah, if she doesn't do this or anything like that.
That's not very nice. She's a nice girl.
Anyway, so at the coronation, she has a backup anti-potion to reverse the effects on Ben. And he eats it, of course, and he admits that he's already during the Enchanted Lake, the spell was reversed, and he did like her.
And it's made her really happy. A little bit confused, but really happy.
Yeah. So Yeah, during the coronation, everything as they start saying the words that say, would you work hard and look after the
Be
kingdom,
really
all
good,
that stuff.
and be kind to children and dogs and cats, and
And while this is happening, Jane picks up the wand and tries to use it to try to change her back to being a pretty person.
However,
she couldn't control it. It ends up zapping. The wand ends up pointing directly into the villain island, right?
yeah.
And this is really bad. And then Maleficent then took this opportunity to slip through the barrier and go to the coronation. And
She should have been invited.
yeah, then she zapped everyone frozen at one point, and she tries to take the wand, but luckily enough, our Mel and her friends were able to overpower her using the power of friendship and teamwork.
Yeah.
Where Jed uses his skills as a team player. Evie uses the magic mirror to blind
That's
her.
right. Yeah, all the good stuff. Yeah.
And Carlos's dog was able to fight, get a few bites in too. And Mel uses her powers that she has and tells her mother off by saying the spirit of 4 is against. I don't know. I can't. remember.
Whatever.
Yeah. What was it again? Let me see.
I can't remember. Some sort of binding spell, was it?
Yeah, sort of a binding spell where she says where she ends up turning her mother into a lizard.
That's right. A little one.
Yeah.
Eventually, there's a reason why a little one. The size of the lizard was governed by the amount of hate or love in her or something.
Yeah, the love in her heart.
And there wasn't any, so she was about the size of the love in her heart, which is a little gecko. Yeah.
Yeah. Soon enough, the fairy godmother awakens, and she approaches Mel and tells her that while she learned to love, one day her mother will learn to love, and she may one day be able to redeem herself and may turn back into normal, which may take ages, depending on time.
No great rush.
Eventually, the fairy godmother waves her wand, and everything is unfrozen. And everyone is relieved and everything. And now it's time for the big after party of the coronation.
Macca's for everybody.
Yeah.
No,
so there's a whole awesome dance number. Everyone is dancing. Carlos is dancing with Jane. And Jed is dancing with Audrey. And everyone is dancing.
We will rock you.
And of course, Mel turns to the camera and says that this isn't over yet. Because...
Yeah, they're going to live happily ever after, but...
So
that means it's going to be a sequel.
Yeah, so I'll tell you guys the sequels in just small portions. The second one is where Mel is dealing with being, having a hard time adjusting to being Ben's girlfriend and having a bit of an one of those what do they call it? What do they call it? Oh yeah, a sort of what do they call a party for a person who's going to be welcome to society?
Coming out.
A coming out party.
Debut. Making their debut or something or other.
Yeah, I think it's called a coming out party.
Well, that's whatever. Yeah, I don't know what they're called in America.
She's going to be coming out as a princess, and she has a hard time dealing with this because everyone around her is telling her to forget her roots. Her being an ex-villain kid.
Yes, but she was changing, I suppose. A coming of age sort of thing, isn't it? A bit like Luke Skywalker was no longer a little farm boy, he became a Jedi Knight after a couple of years, that sort of stuff. So we all change, don't we?
Eventually her love is tested with Ben, and we then see Uma, who's the daughter to, what's the name of the villain from Little Mermaid? I can't remember.
Oh, okay. The Sea Witch. Sea Witch.
Yes, that could be it.
That'll do.
That'll do for me. We also meet Dizzy, who's the daughter to Drusilla from Cinderella. Stepsister.
Yeah.
Anyway, which she's not a bad kid. She's kind of nice. Anyway, eventually Mel learns to realize that she loves Ben, and she's going to try not to
We're
use
not
magic
doing it.
anymore.
You're not going to tell the whole story, are we?
Anyway, moving on to the third story. This one deals with a little bit of a mixture where who are the villains are, and who are the the good guys are.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grey area there.
Yeah, and Mel and her friends are deciding to invite more villain kids to the prep school.
They wanted to invite another 4 kids, wasn't it?
Yeah. They already decided Disney, and they've asked Dr. Faust's daughter, what's her name?
I can't remember.
And 2 of the and twin boys
from
who
Mr.
from
Smee,
Smee from Captain
Peter Pan.
Hook.
Yeah, Captain Hook's first mate or whatever.
Yeah. So they're going to be their first 4 to start.
Have another go.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it does turn out to be good until Hades comes and ruins the party for everyone. Hades turns out to be the father to Mel, as it turns out. A gorgeous looking
That's right, yeah.
goddess, god if you will.
He looked very nice.
Yeah, even though in the original story, Mel's thought, Mum told her that her father was an ordinary human, a bum, she calls him. But I think it has something to do with the fact that after they came to the island, then everyone who didn't have any magic powers were not reduced to, being humans almost.
Yeah.
So even Hades turned into an absolute slob of a human or something.
That's right, yeah. He lived on the island too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Down in the caves. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Anyway, he turns out to be a good guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Anyway, Audrey, who makes a bit of a change in her by dressing differently and and sporting a new hairstyle, hoping to win Ben back with her new look.
Ain't gonna happen.
Not gonna happen, because dear old Ben is now proposed to Mel. Now he's gonna marry her, and she's gonna be a queen. Hooray! Exactly. Anyway, of course, everyone's thrilled about this, but Audrey and her grandmother are not so thrilled. Audrey's grandma says to her during the proposal, "How can you let this happen? You could have. Your mother would be able to, get proposed to when she's asleep." If considering the fact she was asleep.
Yeah, Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, and then Audrey decides to steal a crown from the museum along with Melissa's staff. That's
right. Yeah.
And and the evil within her soon becomes overwhelming, and she decides to take her revenge on Ordon and all its inhabitants, including Mel and all the other villain kids.
She needs a reality check, folks.
Yeah. Eventually, Mel and her team try to fight her by using Hades' crystal. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, let's say it's a crystal. Yeah.
That sort of is the most powerful of items.
Yeah, that's one thing they still had. That was mystical.
Yeah. And Uma and her crew come on board and help out. And even though at first they didn't want to help out because they didn't see anything in it for them because.
Yep.
And they then decide to team up and fight Audrey.
Buglugs.
Yeah, and so they end up fighting at first against one another, but they soon start warming up to each other, including Harry or Henry, who's the son of Hook, who befriends Jed,
Yeah.
and they become good friends, and they start warming up to the idea of living in Ordon. Because,
it's a nicer place.
Yeah, and there's lots of good fruit and vegetables. Fruit mostly, because there's not very good food on the island of Oz.
They get the dregs, yeah.
Yes, they get the leftovers. Ugh.
Really nice food.
Yeah, anyway, Audrey...
I didn't see a McDonald's there or a Burger King or anything.
No chance of that. That would be
KFC.
Who will be operating them?
Well, someone told me that McDonald's got so many branches around the world that when they got the first colony on the moon, the second rocket would have a McDonald's franchise on it.
Typical.
Yeah, but,
so, anyway, moving on. So, Audrey tries to fight them with all her power she has, and eventually she then kidnaps one of the villain kids, and it was up to Mel to fight her off. And eventually, using the special crystal, she was able to kind of put her into an unconscious state. Audrey, I mean.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Oh.
of course. Mel can't revive her or anything like that, but because from what she remembers from her father, who told her that she's only half Hades, so the crystal will not do everything that he
can do with it.
Do with it. So anyway, everyone's revived. Everyone was turned to either to statues or have been asleep. In a coma.
Stuff like that.
Anyway, so they have no choice but to bring Hades into Audron to revive Audrey. And hopefully it worked, in fact. And
Was she a nicer person for it?
actually, she learnt something about it. She realised that she feels a little bit upset and a little ashamed of what she did.
We'll see, folks, there's a moral to this.
Yeah, even Hades thought that it's weird. When we do something bad, you guys punish us. But when you do something bad, it's an error in judgment.
Yeah.
Yeah. He started to, it started to...
Yes.
But
well,
he did...
there you go,
but he
Pot
did...
calling the kettle black, hey?
But he then did what was right, and Mel embraces her father before he goes back to the Island of the Lost, all that stuff. And...
Did you get invited back to the wedding?
Yeah, well, later on. After that, Mel is having this party, and a sort of engagement party, I think it was, where I think that
probably,
was.
Yeah,
and she then admits that while evil will come and go in different places of the world, and we can't, and good will always come from different places, and how it will come in the most unlikely places in the process. And she decides, with Ben's help, that they should let the barrier down. And at first, the parents of Ben's parents disagree with this theory, but it's up to Ben. But now Ben is king. That's up to him and Audrey up to him and Mel to make the decision. It's it's their baby, all that stuff.
Yeah, and
so
those people have been stopped from being naughty for 20 years. How long do you do the punishment for?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that maybe they probably thought long and hard, and they probably have served their time, so to speak.
Yeah.
So they let the barrier down, and everyone's happy, and we have
Party time again.
And we have another dance number, and then
no McDonald's this time. Pizzas for everybody. No, sorry, no, very good.
So Mel and Jed and Evie and Carlos, they then run back to the island to see their parents. Or, except Mel's, obviously. Well, yeah, Mel. Actually, that's not true. I mean, she has Hades, her dad, obviously.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
And her mum's still a lizard.
Yeah.
And
well, she can have a gecko as a pet, can't she?
Yeah, as the closing credits go, this movie is dedicated to Cameron. And everything. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
We've already mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's all 3 movies. And I should mention, when they were... I think not too long ago, they made a special web episodes where Mel and Evie were organising the wedding for Mel and Ben, and it was not. Yeah, they did 3 episodes where they're preparing brides, maid of honor speeches, and one where they had to select cakes.
Cakes? Ooh, I like. Actually, I really hate wedding cakes. They've got too much icing on them. It tastes like, too sugary. I like the bit on the inside.
And then the final one was to design Mel's dress. And at first, she was conflicted on couldn't work out what she wanted. I mean, this dress is going to be something you're going to wear for one day, and it has to be most memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm going to bring up the last one that brings the whole thing together. Yeah, they did an animation probably this year, where our Descendant characters, they do the royal wedding, which was released in this year.
A couple of months ago, wasn't it?
And of course, in one of the episodes, it mentions Carlos and how he's not among the characters in this production.
Yeah, we have a funny feeling they didn't replace his character with another voice out of respect for him.
Yeah, I think that they want. I guess they decided out of respect for the actors and respect for the family to
Yeah.
kill off the character too, and in a respectful, nice manner.
Yeah. So
Yeah, in one scene, Jed and Evie give her a charm bracelet with their sort of family crests on it, including Carl's one, to make sure he's connected to them.
Sorry.
And in the last episode, we see the charm bracelet glow, where Carlos's charm is kind of glowing, which means he's present in spirit. I mean,
Yeah, lovely.
I think that's about all I can think about at the moment. I'd also mention that there's another cartoon they did in 2015, which was a few 15 minutes short of TV series that was on YouTube too, which was awesome. I watched those really a lot, and I still do, because I do enjoy the music, and I do enjoy getting to hear the original actors talking in it.
Okay.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the state of Oregon, which was actually taken from the United States of America,
USA,
as a bit of a
United States of Oregon,
yeah, hint.
Gee, that wasn't a hard quantum leap, was it, folks?
I guess not, but it does make you wonder a lot. I mean, there's some interesting reference points here and there, and some. Did you know the blue and yellow colors in throughout these movies?
Well, they haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they used a lot of blues and yellows, which are sort of the school or state of Oregon's, sort of state colours.
State colours.
Yeah, it sort of signifies the Beauty and the Beast colours. Like the Beast wears blue.
Weren't they in charge?
Yeah, yeah. So the Beast wore a blue jacket in the original cartoon.
He did, yeah.
And Belle always wore a yellow dress or yellow, which signifies Belle. Even though originally in Belle she wore blue when she was a country girl, obviously. But the yellow dress is a good example.
Or yellowy goldy colour, that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So I really do enjoy them, and I do like the fact that Disney has taken the advantage of using YouTube as a bit of a vehicle for this.
Well, I mean, if they're using YouTube or Vimeo or any other platformy things where they can stream it and whatever, it gets it out there. I mean, a lot of people don't watch as much TV as they used to. They actually do streaming and stuff, and
I still watch
Amazon Prime.
I still watch the Descendants School of Secrets, because I really enjoyed some of the episodes, especially like the one where it deals with a prank where the tabletop was sticky and the girl ends up sticking to the table. It's so funny.
Cleaners, you can't get a good cleaner, can you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's interesting that the identity of the girl who put the YouTube camera up there is still a mystery to this day. Although I have theories of who it might be. Maybe.
Okay. Don't, because in case somebody watches it, you're surprised. There you go.
Yeah, I do like the cartoon. I enjoy it immensely, especially the songs they use and the funny bits they get up to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Are you finished talking? Can I actually say something?
Could you tell us what kind of reviews this...
Well, I was going to go into that sort of stuff in a moment.
Go for it.
Now, the production, there's not much on production here. I mean, it's sort of I can't tell you too much. However, I can tell you it was actually... they started filming in 2014 for the first feature, and that was took place in Vancouver. And locations such as Hatley Castle... the British Columbia Parliament buildings in Victoria, Canada, and the costumes were designed by someone called Cara Saun, I think, S-A-U-N. And they put a lot into it. I mean, whenever Disney gets into something, whether it's a musical or a sci-fi or something, their attention to the detail, costumes and props is pretty good. Yeah. So and it showed in this movie.
I do wonder when they did Once Upon a Time, the TV series, whether or not they had a consultant from Disney to work on that one, because there was a lot of Disney references in that movie.
They might have.
That TV series.
Again, when they did Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they actually got agreements between the different studios involved in the different cartoons, because you had Warner's and somebody else and blah, blah. They brought them all together. Hey, can we got agreements so we can use your characters? And they would have supplied information to each other who was making the production, enough information to make it as much like the original as possible. And in fact, I might have told this before, that the Betty Boop character, who was a cigarette girl in the club, was the actual lady who did the Betty Boop voiceover years and years ago. And so she could still do it.
That is clever.
Yeah, so it's really good how to do it. But anyway, yeah, they do collaborate sometimes. Not often, but they do get together for the I'll say for art's sake, not money's sake.
Yeah. Anyway, I might review Once Upon a Time some other time, obviously.
Can we do Roger Rabbit one day?
We might. We'll look into that. But I
like Jessica Rabbit. She's really hot.
I do like the spin-off type ones, even a little bit. I'm not going to say all of them are my favourites because there are some ones out there that don't have to be out there.
Okay, now getting on to reception, I am surprised.
Why?
I think just about everybody liked it. Anywhere from average ratings to good ratings.
That's good.
There was virtually no negativity.
That's a relief.
I won't go through all of them. They said things, there wasn't much of a plot, however, the singing, dancing and everything and blah, blah, blah was good. The acting was good and blah, blah. So, yeah, even they didn't like the storyline that much, they still said they thought it was a good production. So, yeah. Look, to me, it's a family movie. Yeah, now, when I was a child, I'm 67 now, but... Okay, for all you people out there. Now, when I was a kid, I remember in Australia on Sunday, I think Sunday night. Yeah, I think Sunday night we used to have Disneyland come on our TV, and every second week, I think, or every third week, we'd have a movie.
I seem to remember something like that.
And in between times, you had cartoons on the other weeks, So you had Donald Duck and then Mickey Mouse, whatever. So you have, or if you had a movie, the movie might go over 2 weeks, like the first half of the movie this week, second half next week, that sort of thing.
I seem to remember we did have something like that on Sundays.
Yeah, we did on Sunday nights. And the thing is, there's good family entertainment. Now, having said that, when you have family entertainment to keep the kids enthralled, you've got to have kids in it. And I don't mean babies, I just mean interesting young folk, young teenagers, whatever. And even if the story incorporates them mainly, and then some adult stuff, the parents can identify with it because they've got kids. Now, we don't get a lot of wholesome movies nowadays, which is a shame. They either go really, really in the fancy mode like Lord of the Rings, so lots of people dying and stuff, or... something totally inane that the parents can't watch. So it's good to have something in the middle. Yeah,
exactly. I don't know what's
great. Yeah,
what went wrong?
Oh no, things change, but I wonder whether it's people are changing, and the production companies are meeting the change, or the production companies are making the change, and the people are forced to adapt. I don't know.
I often think sometimes. That some of the guys, the creators of some, say, kid shows or any of them, some of them, they can't relate to the kid audience. Like, like when they made that new Muppet show I mentioned, it had too much adult themes in it. It hinted at a little bit of gay-related stuff and mentioned pornography, and that's not something that little kids should be aware of.
For kids, Anyway, we're losing track here.
I'm sorry,
anyway,
guys, but if you're making a family movie to appeal to mom, dad, children, everybody, you have to to keep it. Keep the funny low.
Keep the funny stuff in there. Keep it interesting, and stuff which doesn't need to be in there. Don't put it in there. Just because we can, or it's socially correct or politically incorrect. Blow it out your ear. I mean, crikey, this makes a good entertainment.
I remember when Aggro, that was an Aggro's old Australian TV show.
Aggro was a puppet used to host children's program.
You did a bit of funny things, but years later, when I got older, I didn't understand. I didn't understand then. I was little at the time.
He's just being funny.
But he was being funny, but I didn't understand the humour until years later. What it was.
Of course, it's how the man behind him, Jamie Dunn, was being very funny, using the puppet and annoying the people around him, and we didn't see that.
Yeah, I think he one time told me about one protester was protesting outside the door of the studio,
Anyway.
marching up and down, even though the rest of the parents probably didn't say anything
Jamie Dunn
about that.
unfair to puppets. No, whatever. Okay.
Anyway,
all the reviews are pretty good. Nothing
bad, nothing major.
Generally, yeah, mostly it's things like memorable songs and excellent casting helped turn Descendants into a decidedly wicked musical romp.
Great.
There's comments like that. I'm going, wow, isn't that a change? A breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Ratings, I won't go into too much there, but a lot of people viewed it around the world. Yeah, America release, Australia release, British release.
That's good to know.
And so many people watched it because I think they like the idea of something clean and wholesome for a change and entertaining. Yeah.
Not the sausage movie.
Oh,
I always think that sausage movies sort of...
Sausage movie, yeah? Which one's that one?
I don't know much about that one, but I know for a fact it seems to be a more not less of a family thing, but more of a adult thing.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Sausage.
I never liked that movie.
I don't know one. Chance there's a lot of movies out there. I don't know. I can't know every movie.
I know that, but I just think that movie would more appeal to adults more than children.
Anyway. There were some sequels and prequels and other good groovy things, as Sarah's mentioned before, and so I won't mention those too much, but I will go on to say that if you are interested in this sort of movie, I mean, look, and if you're not really, if you just like a good view, which is going to tax your brain cells or make you throw up with a cupful of bloodshed, this not a bad movie. And if you're a younger person, you might be able to identify for a lot of the themes in it as well. And if you're an older person, you might reminisce and say, yeah, I remember the good old days when movies weren't so bloodthirsty and stuff. So, but here we go. Amazon. There are some available to buy. It's obviously available for rental. That's Amazon for that, and it covers Descendants 1, 2, and 3. eBay, plenty for sale. Yeah, for this and the other two, the two sequels. So go there, have a look, rent it, buy it, whatever. It is a good view if you like this sort of thing.
Another movie I don't really appreciate too much because I thought it was either put in the wrong way was Happy Time Murders.
I don't know. I know the name. I haven't.
It was sort of a Jim Henson type movie using Jim Henson puppets.
Yeah.
But they took it the wrong way because they used on their poster said something nasty about Sesame Street and stuff like that, which I think they should not have done. I don't know what goes on in Jim Henson's crowd, but they should not have made that movie full stop.
Yeah,
It took it the wrong way, and I don't think people put much thought into all the humour in it.
Oh, I don't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
I always thought that
scoring.
Yes, the score. Descendants. I'm gonna put Descendants down for 9 out of 10.
That's not too bad.
I think it's not too bad.
What I was going to say. See, I try to do my gradings per genre as well, and this is probably one of the best all-round family entertainment type movies I've seen for an awful long time. The singing was good, the dance was good, the storyline was passable, the acting, everything came together. It was a really good product. I'm going to give it 10. I mean, honestly, comparing it to, I prefer sci-fi and horror, but I don't mind the odd fantasy. Okay?
Yeah, fantasy. We have nothing against fantasy, guys.
Can I actually say something for a change? You keep jumping in on me all the time. I just try to say that when I do a point grading on these, I try to keep it genre related. And like I said, out of all the fantasies I've seen, this has got to be at the top there with Labyrinth and all the other ones. But this obviously there's more music in this
Yeah,
one.
we haven't.
Yeah.
I don't think we have done a fantasy in ages.
We haven't. Our friends were doing it with haven't been here because of COVID, and so we haven't been able to do fantasies. We've been holding off doing fantasies for them, and they're not around because they can't come over easily because of the COVID virus. Yes, no, lockdown. No, it's not now.
Yeah.
So we might get them back one day in the near future and get the ladies in here. We'll do a fantasy or two, or we'll get the boys back here and do sci-fi.
And I may even bring on board some new guests.
Yeah, we might do that.
As we go along. But if things were different, like say that COVID never happened in 2019, things would have been different, obviously. I would have probably invited many guests on board.
Sarah knows a lot of people in the industry here in Australia.
And maybe then I may have invited people who may have know a little bit more about the movie themselves.
Well, if not, they can go online and find a bit of information and throw a few comments in there and just make it interesting and their take on the movie. And
I may even review other independent films with the actual directors.
Well, we'll talk about independence. I mean, we have mentioned different things over the years that we like in good independent movies like Cassie Bites and all those sorts of things. But you've got guys like Joshua Kennedy and stuff. Now, he makes, I won't be rude, but I'll say B-grade type movies, and they're usually remakes of old movies. He does a really, really good job for what he's doing. I don't know what his budget's like. I think we should review some of that sort of stuff too.
We might.
Because Joshua does a really, really good job trying to breathe life in some old films. I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, well, I also am going to be looking at reviewing Jason Rising very soon. That's, I guess, another one of the fan adaptations of Friday the 13th.
Oh, goody.
So,
any good?
Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm hoping to give it a look at. Well, it's already on YouTube for me.
Well, yeah, I want a clean copy.
Yeah, so I'm going to check that out very soon. Again, I haven't worked out what we're going to review next, but I'll let you guys know eventually.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next thrilling installment.
So that's about it for us tonight. So feel free to check out all our other episodes as much as you can.
Yeah, we've got lots of them now, 100 or something, 160 and whatever.
Anyway, thanks for listening to us, and be sure to check out Descendants and all three of them, and the web series
check
too.
The first one out, because if you don't check any of them, check Descendants 1 out. And if you like that, have a look at the other one. It's no good looking at the last one. So, because it does actually follow a bit of a timeline. Even though you can probably watch them independently, it would be nice to know how it all came together.
Yeah, and it will be good if you guys check out the web series I mentioned too. Would be worth watching. There's probably some other ones I haven't mentioned that you may want to check out too. So
actually, before I go, I was going to, you know how these people, these young kids, come from a bad background and they're turning good.
Yeah.
Now I'm watching a TV series on my computer at the moment. Called Dark Matter. Some of you guys might have seen it. It's got the same thing. These people woke up on a spaceship with no memories of their prior lives. They were robbers and killers and mercenaries and stuff. They don't have any memory of what they're like. And they're just trying to reinvent themselves at the moment. And their good side's winning. So good does triumph over evil.
Yes.
Aha.
So anyway, thanks for listening to this latest episode, guys. And I'll see you. And this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Muggle.
And we'll see you guys for our next podcast. Bye for now.
Exactly. Bye.